You might wonder how blind people deal with everyday challenges. Well, normally...
On 882 6PR.
He's back.
I am.
Yeah, Mr. Aylett.
It's good to be back.
I love the way you've grown that beard. That's obviously you got to go to Canada. You had to keep warm somehow. I'm guessing the Hawaiian shirts were kind of in mothballs for a couple.
I wore them underneath my warm clothes just to sort of fly the flag, so to speak.
Yeah. So it's almost a form of, how can I put it, clothing virtue signalling.
That's right. I'm still me.
Kind of makes sense, yeah.
I'm still me. I might be hairy and rugged up, but I'm still me.
I kind of figure if you'd walked around with a shirt like that in Canada, bearing in mind how the temperatures are now getting as they move into their winter, somebody may well have called the Mounties, you know.
They might have pointed me in the other direction, way south. Yes.
We have this mad Australian here.
Yes. Look, actually, being in Canada, it was absolutely fantastic. I really loved it. And most of all, it's the people that make the difference. As you'll find when you travel, the people make all the difference when it comes to visiting another country.
Canadians have a reputation, though, for being extremely friendly.
Oh, and the reputation is well earned. Really, really well earned. So from the wedding guest, because I attended my brother's wedding, just to make sure he finally got hitched properly. He was all signed.
Long way to go just to make sure the deed happens, mate.
Well, you know, he's my baby brother. I want to make sure he gets signed off.
He must have been keen to send him off.
No, it's great. He's married into a fantastic family, so very pleased to be a part of that massive Canadian family and also the Canadian community there of Windsor.
Yeah.
And I've been
in Windsor, Ontario.
Windsor, Ontario, right across the river from Detroit.
Where they made the Ford Windsor engine.
Yes, the 302.
Why do I always take everything back to motor cars? Yeah, carry on, Ben.
Well, yeah, that's right. Motor cars is that little common denominator we have between all cultures, really. So, yeah, I was in Windsor and I experienced all the sort of the flatland Windsor stuff and all the hunting and the shooting. I was actually a guest of the Windsor Sportsman's Club and they made me feel very, very welcome, to the point where I was coming within 1 point of my brother's score when it comes to skeet shooting. I'd been at it for
shooting.
Yeah, I'd been at it for half an hour.
And you were within a point of your brother's score.
Yeah, he had 2 hours experience. I had half an hour. So I think it's something in the blood. My brother and I both seem to be able to pull the trigger at the right place at the right time.
Skeet shooting, that's pull, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pull, and you get one pigeon flying out. Sorry, a clay pigeon. They're like a clay frisbee.
Yep.
And one goes whizzing out one way, another one goes whizzing out the other way. So you've got to squeeze off a shot, rack another shell into the chamber, and then hit the other one before it hits the ground. So
you did pretty well with that.
I enjoyed it.
What about some of the technology? They're floating any technology around over there that we didn't have here, and you went, whoa, hang on a second, how come we haven't got that?
The technology in Canada, it's very similar to what we've got here in Australia. They do have a cable service, which is, I'd say, similar to our HFC.
How much... And especially when it comes to technology like that, how much drifts across the border from the United States and how much is very much Canadian generated and originated?
There is not a lot that actually goes across the border as far as IT, communications, internet goes. Because there are lots of regulations. So you've got your FCC in the United States and then there's some Canadian equivalent, and none the twain shall meet, even to the point where the mobile phones in the United States actually operate on a different frequency to the ones in Canada.
Of course they do. Yeah. Silly me. Fancy imagining standardisation.
Yeah, and of course, Canada being Canada and Australia being Australia, and we're such good mates. My Australian phone worked fine in Canada. It'd pick up a signal for maybe a second in the United States.
And then drop out.
And then it'd go, no, sorry, you're not a part of Sprint, Verizon, AT&T, whoever. And it would boot me off the network, even though I'd paid for an American SIM. So I just went and got myself...
Really? It wouldn't let your phone log into the network with an American SIM?
Nope. No. So if you're travelling to the United States for the first time, be prepared to shell out for a SIM, which is, I paid $50.
You'd just get one of those old-fashioned, what the Yanks call a burner phone, wouldn't you?
You can get a burner phone. For $25 US, I picked up a Verizon, it's like an Android phone of some sort, $25 US, which is awesome.
When you say of some sort, I love that. What, $25?
Yeah. For a fully...
Less than $50 Australian. You wouldn't argue with that, would you?
Well, less than $50 Australian. And it was a very, very capable phone.
All right.
And it got me by. It was really, really good.
Before we go any further, we'll have a chat to Kevin because he's been waiting to have a chat to you, Ben.
Oh, fantastic. G'day, Kevin.
Hi there. Just want to thank Ben and yourself. Remember me a few weeks ago with my mobile phone? I had no phone reception, and also with the care alert.
That's right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, how did it all turn out, mate?
Yeah, well, the care alert, that's fine.
Yep.
And so is my mobile phone. But as soon as I go out the house, I've got no phone service. What is the range for the smart antennas?
The smart antenna. Okay, so I've got to ask, what sort of mobile phone do you have? Is it like a cordless phone, like a Panasonic or something that sits in the house?
No. Mine's a Samsung
It's a mobile
S8
phone.
Plus.
Yeah,
Okay, so a
mobile
proper
phone.
mobile phone. Sometimes people
it's a
confuse
proper
them.
mobile phone.
Okay, great. So, geez, that's a weird one.
Especially walking out the house, because you think walking out the house would actually improve reception.
That makes
Yeah,
absolutely
but see,
zero sense.
in our area, Telstra have, ever since Dot, a class us has been in a black spot. That's why we had to get the smart antenna.
Which kind of
okay.
makes you wonder why places like yours haven't been prioritised for the NBN, but let's not go there.
Okay.
I've got the NBN, but the most I get on the NBN is 11.
Well,
11 megabits per second. That's not great.
That's not NBN, mate. That's ADSL barely turbocharged.
All right.
So with ADSL, I get about 3 to 4.
Okay. Crikey.
So really,
yeah.
I sort of have got turbocharged with the NBN, but it's obviously not going to improve it any more than what it is.
I mean,
that's no
you're
good,
not going
Kevin.
to shell out for the NBN 11 megabits,
Yeah.
please.
All right. Now, going back
But
to
I'm
your...
supposed to be getting 50,
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean.
and I'm not getting it.
All right. Okay, so we've got a couple of things to cover here. So first thing is your mobile phone, and it seems how you're losing signal as soon as you step outside the house. The smart antenna is not a long-range solution. It's enough to cover a house. So once you step away from the house, I'd expect to see the signal drop off to whatever it is you should be experiencing outside. Now, by the sounds of it, what you've got outside the house is not great anyway because you're in a black spot. I would... let's see, you've obviously been in touch with Telstra and complained about it, yes?
But I'm not with Telstra.
Well, who are you with?
I'm with Vodafone.
You've
Right.
been on to them and complained about it?
Yes, I have.
Good.
And they are in the melting plot of upgrading the area.
Good.
Now, whether it's in my lifetime or not, who knows?
Well, it'll be a bit quick. It'll be a bit quicker than that, I think, mate. So
Yeah, all
the
right.
best thing you can do is wait and see what happens. If they're talking about upgrade, usually we're not talking about lifetime type stuff here. They tend to work fairly quickly, don't
Yeah, they're usually quick. When they say upgrade, they usually mean upgrade within the next 18 months.
they? All right. If you'd like to have a chat to Ben Aylett, 92211 882 is our number.
I'm at work with...
You might wonder how blind people deal with everyday challenges. Well, normally the answer is simple. We're not that different from you. We play music. We go to school. We go to work. You get the picture. But sometimes the simplest things can be difficult, and we need a pair of eyes.
Connect to first available helper.
That's where you come in.
Establishing video connection.
Through your smartphone, Be My Eyes connects the blind with sighted people through a live video connection. Simply choose if you need help or want to help by the click of a button.
That's a nice picture of you and your family, Caroline. Is it for a present? Yes, it's a photo from my
882 6PR. This is Perth Tonight with Chris Ilsley.
By the way, Ben's website, benaylett.com. Did you do much work while you were away?
I did have a couple of emergency emails come through, so I attended to it while everyone here in Australia was asleep. So
That's a good idea. Yeah, I suppose being on the other side of the world makes it easier to do that, doesn't it?
It makes that part easier, but the staying awake during the daytime in Canada, that was really hard for the first couple of days.
Oh, yeah.
The jet lag.
How'd you go with the jet lag?
To be honest, it's my first real encounter with some serious jet lag. And with a 12-hour difference between here and Windsor, it was a doozy. So, I don't know about how other people handled it, but for the first 2 or 3 days, I actually felt like dizzy and disoriented and tired, and I must have been like so much fun.
I was going to say, it sounds to me like you're a barrel of laughs to be around.
Yeah, that's right. What's Ben doing? Oh, he's sleeping again. Oh, okay. Wake up, Ben. Yeah.
I've often wondered the way we did the challenge with jet lag. Just simply said, okay, we're going to work on the time zone we're now in.
Yes.
Which worked, but let's just say the first 24 hours were, how could I put it, hallucinogenic.
Oh, yes. Yeah, they sure were. It was really rough. But I've picked up tips, so next time I need to travel a great distance, I think I'm a little more prepared. So I know what to expect.
I thought you had to stop over in a couple of places, didn't you, on the way?
I did. I had to stop over in Dallas-Fort Worth, which is the transport hub of the United States, as I'm told, the largest airport in the United States, actually. And it is a beast.
I thought Chicago O'Hare was, so there you go.
Yeah, well, I was told, and obviously it's probably a Texan that told me. Of course, it's always biggest in Texas.
That's right, I forgot.
So, there's a bit of pride there. And look, again, well-earned, because it is a huge, huge airport and there's no shortage of things to look at and do.
Was there a tech shop there?
There were actually in the airport.
Mate, if there's a tech shop there, there's no problem.
They weren't actually tech shops. They were Best Buy vending machines. So you could rock up to a vending machine and it had, it was...
I'm not that excited. I don't want to look at a vending machine. I want to touch real stuff, mate.
Oh, it's there. But it's behind this glass. Now, the glass...
Boo, hiss, how can you play with stuff that's behind a glass?
You pay for it, you dummy. All right. So you rock up to these kiosks, these vending machines, and the glass that you're looking through is actually also an LCD display. So while the machine's not vending stuff, you're actually seeing the specials sort of pop up on the glass and sort of superimposed.
I'm talking about tech stuff. I'm not talking about getting a can of Coke from a damn Coke machine.
No, headphones and tablets and all sorts of things.
But you've got to handle them and look at them before you buy them.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the usual Best Buy shops where you'd see that. But
boo, hiss, spit. No, don't go for that. G'day, Jared.
Chris, Ben.
Jared, how you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. I hope you enjoyed your trip and all that. And Chris, I hope you've had a great day.
Yep, I have. Thank you very much for that.
Problem is, I updated my phone, my iPad, my partner's iPhone, iPad, and my kids' iPhone, iPad to 12.1 yesterday. My phone went flat within 2 hours, and so did everything else.
Everything went flat within a couple of hours? Okay.
Yes. I had to recharge my phone twice at my shop today.
And the only thing you did was update it, right?
That's right.
Okay. Updating the software on your iPhone, especially when it comes to iOS updates, are very processor intensive. It's a lot of work. So they're downloading a whole bunch of data and they're processing that data and rewriting files. So it does take a lot of work.
So is the process continuing after the download has actually been done? Otherwise, why would the battery continue to get sucked dry or juice?
Look, I'd see how it goes in the next couple of days. If it's still discharging very quickly over the next couple of days, then we really have a problem, and I would go straight back to the people that you bought it off, whether it's a telco or a retailer. Doesn't matter. You go straight back to them and say, look, it's discharging very quickly. You probably could even, if it's an Apple product, which I think I heard you say it was iPhones and iPads, is that right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes? Okay. You could even go directly to the Apple store and probably make a booking with an Apple genius and just let them know that it's discharging very quickly. And they're actually quite good, especially when the products are brand new. So I'd ask the question to see if it's normal for this to be happening. And if it isn't, they'll probably replace it on the spot.
Okay. Have you heard anything wrong with the latest update with the iOS?
What iOS number is it, mate, just while you're talking to Ben?
12.1.
Okay, iOS 12.1. Let's see. There's nothing standing out, and it's also a 0.1 release. So usually when it's a 12.0 or 11.0, there's usually some bugs that need to be squashed, and by the time you get 12.1 out, there's been a whole bunch of sort of things sorted out. So it's probably the way to go. Yeah, so I wouldn't expect there to be any major problems with iOS 12.1 at this point. And you know, it's only brand new anyway, so you never know. There could be something that comes out that we haven't heard of yet. But I would definitely...
Yeah, I could understand if it was just my phone, but I updated six devices yesterday and they've all gone flat.
Yeah, I would say it could be down to like updates out of the box. But if it's not that, I would definitely look into it with Apple because, look, they really do care about the quality of their product. So I think they'd be only too keen to get their hands on it, make sure that it's sorted out. And if it is a genuine problem, they'll probably replace it and hang on to the old ones for a bit of review and fixing.
All right, not a problem. Thanks very much, mate.
Thanks very much, Jared.
So what he said, 12.1, didn't he?
Yeah, 12.1.
All right.
Have you seen anything pop up?
The only thing I've seen pop up is iOS 12.1 has landed, and it's Apple's first major upgrade to iOS 12, bringing some major new features and important fixes. Unfortunately, however, it also comes with a serious problem.
Oh, really?
For iPhone and iPad owners who have upgraded to Apple iOS 12.1, it's easy to hack your phones with a simple phone call.
Oh, okay.
And worryingly, anyone can do it.
Wow, okay.
The flaw is in the lock screen security, and it allows anyone to get past Face ID or Touch ID on your iPhone and dive straight into all your connection information.
Wow. All right, we'll keep an eye out for 12.2.
Obviously coming soon to a desperate fix near you.
Gareth Parker.
My understanding is...
You might wonder how blind people deal with everyday challenges. Well, normally the answer is simple. We're not that different from you. We play music. We go to school. We go to work. You get the picture. But sometimes the simplest things can be difficult, and we need a pair of eyes.
Connect to first available helper.
That's where you come in.
Establishing video connection.
Through your smartphone, Be My Eyes connects the blind with sighted people through a live video connection. Simply choose if you need help or want to help by the click of a button.
That's a nice picture of you and your family, Caroline. Is it for a present? Yes, it's a photo from my parents.
You can help just by installing the Be My Eyes app,
Print image.
and we'll notify you when someone needs your help. And if you're in the middle of something, don't worry. Someone else will step in.
That dog is way too old.
So, would you care to be my eyes?
This is Perth Tonight with Chris Ilsley on 882 6PR.
And Ben's back talking technology. Our man Ben Aylett, benaylett.com website. That's also where you'll find all of his contact information.
That's right.
Now, we've got something to help Jared out that you found.
Yeah, just a bit of digging during the break, and there are some articles out there asking if you're finding that your iPhone's battery life is bad since installing iOS 12.1. Now, the advice is to wait a couple of days for the install to settle down. So once you install a major iOS or even a minor iOS update, there's all sorts of other things going on in the background, which I expected, from indexing all of your files to carrying out analysis on your photos to make them searchable. So all of this takes CPU power, which in turn takes up battery power. So the advice, as I'm reading in this article from ZDNet, is for the first few days after installing a major iOS update, is to keep a charger handy and not worry too much about battery life.
A little bit more of this story that comes from Forbes magazine.
Yep.
Said there is another concern in iOS 12.1 as well. And if you own an iPhone 8, an iPhone 8 Plus, and an iPhone X, you might like to block your ears right now.
Uh-oh.
Despite Apple promising owners of these phones last year they would not be subjected to the same controversial performance throttling the company applies to older iPhones, iOS 12.1 has introduced it for all three models.
Bugger.
Forbes' Ewan Spence has written about this, and Apple already faces almost 60 class action lawsuits in the US and legal action from multiple governments around the world for silently introducing what many deem as planned obsolescence, and Italy has already issued fines.
Wow.
So iPhone XS, iPhone XS Max and iPhone XR owners, clearly it will be your turn this time next year. And this may not be the end of the problems. My iOS 12.1 upgrade guide reports cases of graphics glitches, Wi-Fi problems and battery life complaints. So you'd be wise to delay your upgrade unless you suffer from one of the flaws that it does fix. All in all, it's a disappointingly rocky start for iOS 12, especially given Apple has promoted it as being a back-to-basics focus on speed, stability and security. On the plus side, iOS 12 is packed with numerous secret features which show Apple still does care about finely crafting its software. What next? Well, we would expect iOS 12.1.1 to arrive as a dedicated bug fix before the end of November. Not surprisingly, Apple has already announced it is in beta testing.
Of course it is. And I can actually, I'm pretty sure, yes, I can quote what the Android people are saying.
Of course.
As they will.
As they will. Hey, listen, something to get you excited, something we're talking about all throughout this month. We're going to be drawing this on Monday, December the 3rd, actually.
Yeah.
We might draw it when you're on with us. What I'm talking about is we've got an arcade machine that features 60 classic games, including Space Invaders, Galaga, Pac-Man and a whole heap more. This one valued at $1,999 thanks to Perth Arcade Machines at 41 Holdaway in Malaga. They're just off Malaga Drive, open 7 days a week.
Oh, there you go.
I thought I so got to tell you about that because you like all those old-fashioned games.
Well, look, it's one of the things that computers are best at is playing computer games. It's just, I love computer games.
What is it about these games, though? They work and they always built up that little pace. And they get to the point where no matter how good you are, the game ultimately slams you.
Well, yeah, and that's how it works. They just keep ratcheting up the speed or the difficulty, the number of enemies. Yeah, but that's the way it works. But, yeah, I've actually seen the arcade machine. I've played it, many nights because it's just sitting out there in the break room.
We've got one out here. They're fabulous.
Bloody fantastic.
I mean, how would you like to have one of those in your little man cave?
I would love it. The wife would hate it. But the kids and I, we'd love it.
You don't complain when she watches chick flicks, so it's a fair trade.
Actually, I tell a lie because the wife does love playing Frogger. That is her favourite game.
Oh, okay.
She goes bananas for Frogger. Loves it. Beautiful.
So keep listening. We'll register some. We'll start registering some names tonight.
Okay, sounds great.
And we're going to draw that, as I mentioned before, Monday the 3rd of December. So we'll do that. We'll do that during your segment, if you like.
I would love it. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So how do people enter again?
Easy. We're just going to ask for callers from time to time.
Yeah.
And register them at random. Going to take a handful of callers, put them in a draw a name out the hat. Mate, do stuff easy. That's always my philosophy.
Excellent. Well, I know
somebody's actually interested enough to enter and they want something like that. Fabulous machine.
Yeah, go for it.
It's got everything in it.
Yeah, ask a question, get a tech answer and possibly win an arcade machine.
Yeah, don't even have to do that, mate. We'll be asking for callers any time. By the way, as I mentioned before, this one's worth $1,999 and the 20 cents we used to drop in. Yeah. I've done the numbers on that. That actually works out to $1. So this machine is easy worth as good as $2,000, I reckon.
Absolutely.
Perth Arcade Machines, by the way, 41 Holdaway in Malaga, just off Malaga Drive. We're going to start registering some names and playing games. We're going to be at the Spud Shed Thursday night.
Yeah.
Broadcasting. So we're going to try and get one of the machines out there then.
Well, the Spud Shed in Malaga?
Yeah, no, Spud Shed in Midland, the new Spud Shed.
Oh,
so
okay.
you're not keeping up. You've been away overseas,
I've been
mate.
away.
You're totally disconnected from the world.
Well, yeah, it was a nice place to be disconnected in. I'll give it that.
Oh, but, there's no doubt about that. Hey, listen, also happened just after you got back. This is one of those, when we talk about omens, portents and awful warnings, I think this is one of those.
Yeah.
When the chief kahuna at My Health Record says, I quit, I say, we have a problem.
Yeah, it's the chief kahuna for privacy and security. Those two cornerstones of what we're having the whole
privacy and security in My Health Record. It's an oxymoron.
Well, it is now. Since we don't have anyone in charge of that, and I think this person was the last to go from that department, so hopefully she turned out the lights and closed the door. But they'd
have to have somebody employed in that area, surely. I mean, the one thing they're trying to do is convince us. I mean, I will say flat out. In fact, I'm now at the point where I think we should actually do a dedicated night to get people off the damn thing.
Yep. Yeah, and it's really
the
quite
reason
easy.
being because there's too much risk involved.
Yeah.
And, we've got people saying, oh, gee, well, we don't need these people in security and privacy. Hello, the biggest vulnerability you've got is in privacy and security. Yeah. What's wrong with these people?
And the sort of data that they're sitting on is potentially catastrophic if it gets into the wrong hands. It's potentially very, very damaging if the wrong people get their hands on that information. And it's something that's had me worried from the word go because we're talking government initiatives and technology, and the track record has not been great. And now that...
Let's be honest, the track record has been abominable.
Yes, absolutely. And then to have the person in charge of security and privacy leave because she said that she wasn't being listened to by the higher-ups, and now the role of...
In other words, I wasn't telling them what they wanted to hear.
Well, yes, that. And now that the role of privacy and security has now been folded into some other department, and I can only assume it's either folded into IT or
Why don't we take out
legal.
of the word folded and insert the correct word, which I would argue is diluted?
Yeah, absolutely diluted, yeah. If you don't have a dedicated security or privacy team, you can't really claim to have privacy or security at the top of your list of requirements. If you don't dedicate people to it, it's not front and centre.
The problem is, as the problem always has been, the people responsible for running this, the government and the numpties in the government, they haven't got a clue. They have not got a clue about the technology, its applications and how it works.
Yeah. And look, making the decision to opt out, I understand people wanting to stay in because of the benefit it means to them. And so there are people in situations where they will get great benefit out of it. But I'd say in general,
opt out of it.
Yeah, it's
the security's just
too much.
No, they've got to convince us otherwise. We'll talk to you next week, mate.
I'll catch you then.
BenAylitz.com is a website. It's also where you'll find all the contact info.
6PR's Cricket Show. Bringing you...